Greetings and salutations. Thank you for lending an ear to the voice of the times this Monday, September 27, 2021, for today's editorial, Reform Congressional Probes and Procurement. As the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee inquiry into the alleged overpricing of surgical masks and face shields drags on, two things come to mind. One, as mentioned in an earlier editorial, Senate investigations are not particularly helpful in crafting better laws. And two, the hearings should lead to improved policies, rather than in steps backward. First, the Senate should file criminal charges in court, instead of continuing the hearings, which divert time from more important agendas such as the 2022 budget. Handing the issue over to the courts clarifies what actually was done wrong. The senators have raised many alleged acts of graft and unethical behavior, but the hearings seem to have veered away from the original issue of overpricing. That may be the outcome of the testimony by Commission on Audit or COA Chairman Michael Aguinaldo, an appointee of the late President Benigno Noynoy Aquino III. Mr. Aguinaldo told senators that COA found no issue of overpricing, only poor inventory management. Once a proper court takes over, the senators can then return to the true intent of the hearings, which should be an exercise and aid of legislation. It is not up to the senators to be judge and jury on alleged crimes because politicians can be partial in these situations. As we see now, the senators make themselves vulnerable to charges of politicking and conducting a trial in the court of public opinion ahead of the 2022 elections. Besides fairness, the senators might want to exercise restraint in confronting difficult witnesses or resourced persons. They risk being perceived as imperious or even as bullies in wielding their power to cite witnesses in contempt and even detaining them for supposedly lying under oath or for just being evasive. The senators, many of whom are lawyers, should revisit the 1987 Constitution, which guarantees that no person should be deprived of life or liberty without due process. Also, Section 17 of the Bill of Rights states, "No person shall be compelled to be witness against himself." If senators find evidence of perjury, charges should be filed in court. If the accused is a flight risk, the Senate can petition for the denial of bail. The Senate should not commandeer what is clearly the function of the judicial branch of government. End result. To be clear, we are not suggesting that there was no wrongdoing in this procurement case, but we just doubt that the Senate is the proper venue to make that determination. For all we know, a court of law may find the individuals grilled in the hearings guilty after a trial. We need the Senate to do its job, which is crafting laws relevant to the procurement issue. For starters, the senators might consider prohibiting brokers or middlemen from participating in government tenders, but the senators should study this carefully and consider that many suppliers are based abroad, although they have local agents and distributors. Also, the senators might want to review the procurement principle of awarding contracts to the lowest bidder. There should be a balance of price and quality. Finally, the legislators should resist injecting nationalist ideologies into procurement. Favoring local suppliers may give us pride, but they could also lead to disastrous economic policies. During the hearings, for example, Senator Ralph Recto asked whether Filipinos were capable of making face masks, thus avoiding the need to source them from China. Filipinos certainly could, but the better question is, should we be making them? What goods we Filipinos manufacture should be based on our comparative advantages. We should trade for the goods that other countries can make for less or perhaps better. That means foregoing making goods that entail higher opportunity costs. What Senator Recto suggests is plainly backward in the context of today's global economy. To be fair, the senator may have been referring to emergency situations such as the pandemic. In that case, the Senate should study the U.S. Defense Production Act for future pandemics and other crises. That certainly makes for a more relevant discourse. Bottom line, the Senate hearing should produce measures that improve procurement and plug policy gaps. Everything else is just for show. And that's editorial for Monday, September 27, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to our digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and listen to The Voice of the Times.